What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chronic Series. And today we're breaking down the last two episodes of Raising Kanan, Dark Matter, and Penultimate Means Second to Last. Then we're jumping into the premiere of Fightland to discuss Duke Kilroy's revenge mission and whether this new Starz series has what it takes to become a major hit. Major spoilers ahead. Let's get into it. Starting with Raising Kanan, Dark Matter was really about accountability. For most of the series, Kanan has blamed Rake for everything wrong in his life, and Rake definitely deserves a lot of that blame. She lied to him, manipulated him, used him in the drug business, and constantly put her organization ahead of her family. But Kanan is no longer an innocent child being controlled by his mother. He is making his own decisions now, and those decisions are getting people killed. Jukebox finally confronts him about Lulu's death. Kanan keeps describing the shooting as an accident and continues blaming Rack for creating the situation. But Jukebox refuses to let him hide behind that excuse. Her point is simple. Rack may have started the damage, but Kanan is now choosing how far it goes. He brought a weapon into that confrontation. He fired the shot that killed Lulu. Then he allowed Rack to help cover everything up. That does not make Lulu's death intentional, but it does make Kanan responsible. The confrontation also shows how differently Kanan and Jukebox are handling their pain. Kanan keeps projecting his anger onto Rock and everybody around her. Jukebox is becoming colder, but she is still able to recognize the truth, even when that truth involves someone she loves. We also see Kanan becoming more like Rock through his relationship with Sharita. Kanan admits that he originally became involved with her because he wanted information about Rock's rival, Flossie. He says his feelings eventually became real, but the relationship began with manipulation. That is exactly the type of move Rock would make. Kanan hates his mother's methods, yet he continues copying them. The major difference is that Rock usually plans several moves ahead. Kanan is still driven by anger, ego, and his need to prove that nobody controls him. While Kanan is building his own organization, Rock's empire is falling apart. Her supply connection is taken away after Hafiz aligns himself with Stefano and Breeze. Federal pressure is increasing. Her former partners do not trust her, and Kanan is attacking her business from inside her own family. Rock responds by killing Ishak Habib with Marvin as a warning. That proves she is still dangerous, but it also shows that she is becoming desperate. Earlier in the series, Rake usually controlled the board. Now she is reacting to everybody else's moves, and when Rack reacts emotionally, she often creates even bigger problems. The other major moment comes when Jukebox discovers that Snaps and Pop were responsible for Famous' death. Famous represented one of the last connections to their younger and more innocent lives. Once Jukebox learns the truth, she does not wait for anybody else to handle it. She confronts Snaps and Pop and delivers her own version of justice. That moment brings her much closer to the ruthless Jukebox we eventually meet in the original Power. But unlike Kanan, Jukebox still appears to have a personal code. Her violence comes from loyalty, grief, and the need to protect people she cares about. The danger is that once killing becomes the answer, the reason behind it may stop making much difference. Dark Matter showed Kanan and Jukebox transforming at the same time. Both are losing people they love, and both are becoming more comfortable using violence. But Jukebox is still capable of holding Kanan accountable, while Kanan is becoming better at convincing himself that everything is somebody else's fault. That brings us to Penultimate Means Second to Last. Kanan killing Marvin may be his true point of no return. Breeze tells Kanan that Marvin needs to die as proof of loyalty, but Kanan says he is not killing Marvin for Breeze, Snaps, or Pop. He wants Marvin dead for himself. That statement removes Kanan's final excuse. He cannot blame Rock, he cannot call it an accident, and he cannot completely blame Breeze for manipulating him. Kanan walks into that church knowing exactly what he plans to do. Marvin realizes what is happening, but he does not beg. Instead, he warns Kanan that he will eventually die alone. For fans of the original Power, that line feels like a prediction. The older Kanan becomes feared and powerful, but he is also isolated. Ghost and Tasha betray him. His relationship with his son is destroyed. Tommy does not fully trust him, and eventually, even Jukebox is taken away from him. Marvin sees where Kanan's choices are leading before Kanan is willing to admit it. Conan believes removing family members makes him independent, but each person he destroys also removes another connection to his humanity. Lulu died because Kanan brought violence into his world with Rock. Marvin dies because Kanan deliberately chooses to execute him. Kanan continues saying Rack destroyed the Thomas family, but now Kanan is doing most of the destruction himself. Marvin's death also removes the last person standing between Rack and Kanan. Lulu was off in the family's conscience. Marvin was the person trying to hold together whatever remained. With both brothers gone, nobody is left to calm the conflict between mother and son. The final war between Rack and Kanan now feels unavoidable. Breeze's influence also becomes more dangerous in this episode. He does not physically force Kanan to kill Marvin. He simply gives Kanan the excuse he already wants. Breeze understands Kanan's anger, pride, and need to prove himself. Instead of ordering him around, Breeze makes Kanan believe that their goals are the same. That may be the reason Breeze becomes so important. He does not control Kanan by appearing stronger than him. He controls Kanan by making him feel powerful. At this point, the question is no longer whether Kanan becomes the villain from the original Power. That transformation has already happened. The real question is how much of the Thomas family will still be standing when the series ends. Now let's move over to the premiere of Fightland. The first episode makes one thing clear. This is not simply a boxing show. Boxing is the setting, but revenge is the real story. Duke Kilroy was once a heavyweight champion whose career and personal life were destroyed by powerful promoter Kingsley Marshall. Duke also had a secret relationship with Kingsley's wife, Joy. After Kingsley discovered the betrayal, Duke and his brother Calvin were attacked. Calvin was killed, Duke retaliated, and Duke ended up spending 8 years in prison. Now he's back in London and he wants to destroy the Marshall family's entire operation. What makes Duke interesting is the way he allows people to underestimate him. The Marshall family believes prison broke him. They see a former champion with no money, no career, and no power. Duke plays along because looking weak gives him access, and he accepts humiliation, gets close to their boxing organization, and then publicly announces his comeback before they can stop him. That move forces the Marshalls to deal with him in front of the entire boxing world. Duke is clearly strategic, but he is not completely controlled. His anger over Calvin's death still makes him reckless. That balance could make him a strong lead character. He has a plan, but his emotions may eventually interfere with it. The Marshall family is also unstable because Kingsley has mysteriously disappeared. His children, Sabella and Zeke, are trying to manage both the legitimate boxing company and the criminal organization behind it. Zeke appears eager to prove himself, but his ego could become a weakness. Sabella seems more disciplined and more capable of controlling the business. She may actually become the most dangerous member of the Marshall family. Duke may not need to defeat them all directly. He may only need to increase the tension that already exists between the siblings. Then there is the mystery of Kingsley's disappearance. Duke returned expecting to confront him only to discover that Kingsley is gone. Was he killed? Did he disappear voluntarily? Did one of his own children make a move against him, or is he hiding while everybody else exposes their true intentions? The premiere also suggests Duke's connection to the family may be deeper than revenge. His past relationship with Joy raises questions about whether her son could actually be Duke's child. Should that theory be true, Duke may be attempting to destroy a family that includes a son he never knew he had. That would make his revenge mission much more complicated. The premiere gives us several reasons to keep watching: Duke's comeback, Kingsley's disappearance, the Marshall family conflict, Joy's secret history, and the criminal world hiding behind professional boxing. Because 50 Cent is involved in the series mixes crime with family betrayal, Comparisons to Power and BMF are unavoidable, but the boxing business gives Fightland an opportunity to create its own identity. Duke is not only dealing with criminals, he also has to navigate promoters, contracts, fighters, media attention, gambling, and public reputation. That gives the show a different battlefield. These three episodes are ultimately connected by revenge. Kanan believes destroying his family will free him from Rack. Duke believes destroying the Marshall family will give him justice for Calvin. But revenge is already costing Kanan everyone around him. And Duke may eventually discover that destroying the Marshalls also destroys parts of his own past. Now, I want to hear from you. Did killing Marvin officially make Kanan worse than Rack? Is Breeze manipulating Kanan, or is Kanan fully responsible for what he has become? And after the premiere of Fightland, are you locked into the series, or does it still have something to prove? Drop your thoughts in the comments, subscribe to Chronic Series, and stay tuned for our breakdown of the Raising Kanan finale and the next episode of Fightland.